So anyway, I waited, you know, they said, yeah, they're going to let my wife and my father come down. So you can imagine, from their point of view now, they're just like, they want to know the results. They want to know the results, right? So I was sitting down and they came in and, you know, they give you a little bit of anesthetic to when they do the procedure. So I was a little bit drowsy, but I was still with it. A little bit drowsy, I was still with it. And then they came in, they're like, oh, you're right, is everything all right? And the doctor was in at the same time, i.e. the guy that did the procedure. So he said to me, would you like me to tell them? I said, no. Because at the end of the day, right, patience, akhi, right, when you're afflicted with something, is when the calamity first hits. You don't have the concession to scream and wail and punch the wall and start acting out, swearing and acting all wild, and then after like a couple hours and say, you know what, I'm going to be... That's not patience. Look, patience is when the calamity first hits. And, you know, I didn't know how my wife was going to take it. I didn't know how my dad was going to take it. So I said to her, Habibati, listen. I said words to the effect that I just told you, right? I said, listen, patience is when the calamity first hits. So make sure that the words that come out your mouth after what I'm about to tell you is Alhamdulillah. So she, again, is almost like, it was almost like I was preparing her for some bad news. Because if I just said, oh babes, they found cancer, she would I didn't know if she was going to scream. I didn't know how my dad was going to act. So that was kind of me telling her without me telling her. You with me? And then I said that they found something, and obviously like she was devastated and shocked and stuff like that. But again, it still didn't sink in. I don't think I cried, or maybe I got a bit emotional when I said that part to her. You know, and then the guy was like, you know, it's okay. It's like, hopefully we caught it in the early stages, and you know, there's a lot. He didn't start talking treatments, but he was saying that there's good. He was trying to reassure me, you know, in saying there's a lot of good treatments out there at the moment that you can get. You know, the chemotherapy's improved since then, and I'm like, chemotherapy. Yeah, I'm not into all of that. I'm not in. Alhamdulillah, to this day, I haven't taken a single chemotherapy jab, although they wanted to. Wow. They want to give it to me. Again, that's another story, like for later on. So anyway, I came out of the hospital, and I came home. I went to my wife's house because that's where I was living at the time, and that's where I did the video. I did it in her mum's front room, and that's the video that went viral. But I did it as a Facebook live. And that's why I put it up on YouTube later, but that's where the traction happened on the Facebook Live. And you can imagine, Akhi, the next like couple of weeks was crazy. My phone was blowing up left, right and center. And in a weird way, as devastating as the news was and is, I had a lot of love. I had a lot of love from people, and the love helped me deal with it. And I learned from that. And this is something that I want you guys to, you know, the users, sorry, not the users, I'm so used to talking about courses, I'm saying users and students, the listeners, I got to change my vocab now. I want the listeners to take away from is, look, when you're faced with a situation, look for the takeaways. What can you take away from it? As opposed to looking at what you're potentially losing, all right? What I took away from that was, don't ever underestimate the importance of showing love to somebody. Because you don't know what a person's going through, right, in its entirety. You might know somebody's, for example, in my case, is being diagnosed, but the spiritual or the emotional or the mental ramifications of that are not always clear. You with me? But when you reach out, show love and support to somebody, that there can be a source of strength for that person that's suffering. So after a while, like, I didn't even feel like I was going through anything, because I had only been told I got a tumor. You know, and I was like, well, I don't feel anything per se. I have trouble sometimes when I'm going to the toilet. Akramakumullah. Yeah, I need to, you know, to number 2 specifically, and that's another sign that I had. On top of the extreme weight loss, akhi, I experienced like blood in my stool. And then when I thought back long and hard, remember I'm back in the UK now when I got the diagnosis. I remember I was like, no, this has kind of been happening from Medina. So I had it when I was in Medina, akhi. I just didn't know, and it didn't show its ugly signs because I was still quite big. You know, what it was doing, it was the tumor, if I'm not mistaken, was like 7 or 8 centimeters in my colon, which is just like where you're up the anal area, but so it's not like at the tip, it's up a bit and like round. That's kind of where it was right there. But your colon is really, really long. I didn't know that. That's another thing I learned from this experience. I learned more about my anatomy. Do you know what I mean? Sure. Anyway, I felt fine. I felt fine. But what we did straight away, like literally the next day, I cut out all bad foods that I shouldn't be eating, that the majority of us shouldn't be eating. And that's another thing, ikhwani, wa akhawati fillah, the ones that are listening. The takeaway that I want you to take away from this is, don't be like me, who was negligent as it relates to the food that I ate and the drinks that I consumed. It's not alcoholic beverages or anything like that, or anything haram, but fizzy drinks, you know, drinks that contain a lot of sugar or added preservatives and food that's just not good for the human body. Don't wait till your life's on the line now and you risk losing everything to say, you know what, let me make a change. Why? Because there's nothing, akhi, that's worth being in a situation. Yes, there's been benefits that I've received as a result, but I wish I would have learned those lessons. I wish I didn't have to go through this, you know, and be in this position to learn those lessons. I wish I could have learned it from somebody just telling me. Do you know what I mean? So we changed the food that I was eating. So I stopped meat, chicken. My diet consisted of rabbit food, literally, up until they were going to give me my operation. All right, my operation, which was to cut a section of my colon out. So we're thinking that if we change our diet, who knows, Allahu A'lam, maybe the thing will just go. Do you know what I mean? Or they're going to see a significant reduction in the tumor. So actually, I started changing my food, and as a result, I lost more weight. No protein, or not enough protein going into my body now. You know, I lost a lot of weight.